All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our goal setting webinar with our lovely Suzanne Tighe from Pero today. Just a little bit of housekeeping. We will be recording. So if you do not wish to be part of the recording, feel free to turn off your camera. We do ask that during the presentation, you do keep yourself on mute, but during the question period, you are more than welcome to unmute yourself. If you do not feel comfortable doing so, feel free to put it in the chat and I can relay it to Suzanne. Take it away.
Okay, thanks, Kylie. So today we are going to do goal setting and action planning. And we'll just wait for Kylie. There we go. Hello, I am ready. This is, Pero is Latin for I am ready. I don't know if anybody knew that. I'm sure Kylie did, but I like to tell people that. So here we are, there we go. Goal setting and action planning. Setting yourself up for success. And we all know that we can say we're going to do things, but if we don't have an action behind it, then things just don't get done. So we'll start with, so what is a goal? We're going to get into smart, okay. We're going to get, yeah, Barbara, it is, I am ready. So a specific measurable accomplishment that you'd like to achieve in the future. So you have to develop an action plan, because where you are now won't get you to where you want to go unless you have an action. And I went to a conference a few years ago in Vancouver, and that was the name of it. What got you here won't get you there. And it was all around goal setting and so on. So just give you a little bit of background. I worked for Pero 16 years ago and left after 6.5 years, started my own private home care business. And I had a buyer last year that approached me. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell and I'm going to retire. And I really am bad at retirement. So a year into it, I thought, this isn't for me. I felt like I had no identity, no purpose anymore. So here I am back at Pero doing what I really love and connecting with other women entrepreneurs. So hopefully today we can share some great business practices and get you to where you want to go. Okay. What's an action plan? Actions, tasks are set, designed to achieve a goal. And we also have a worksheet that Kylie is going to put in the chat platform, I believe. I think that's what she said. And then, you know, we can go through it as well. So next slide, please. There we go. Goal setting and action planning is a powerful process. I don't know if Barbara, Kylie, and it looks like we have a Shannon now. Hi, Shannon. Where are you joining us from?
Hi, how are you? Sorry, I'm in Morocco.
You're wow.
Yeah.
Now, what are you doing there?
I am teaching. I'm teaching English, and trying to build up a teaching business.
Good for you. Well, so I'm sure this workshop today may be of interest. You can because you can use this actually for anyone, anything, especially for students. So
absolutely, yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, and tell me a little. I like to make these workshops really interactive. So can you tell us what age group you're teaching?
Yeah, so I mostly focus on IELTS preparation. So young adults, like older teenagers, young adults, and business English. So I have a lot of corporate clients that I work with as well.
Good for you. How long have you been there?
I've been in Morocco since 2014. Back to London. So
okay, so it sounds like it's your home now.
It has been for a while. Yeah,
Well,
it's all right.
okay.
But I'm pretty much ready to come home. So
And where is home? Is it Ontario?
it is. Yeah, it's London.
Oh, well, there you go. We have someone on, we have Guelph and Kitchener joining us today. So you're all in the same geographic area anyway.
Same kind of
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
Okay, so next slide, Kylie, please, if you're not too busy. Okay, there we are. So like I had mentioned, I went to a seminar. It was like, what got you here won't get you there. So we need to accomplish something with a goal and an action plan. It's like trying to take a vacation without a destination or map. And you know, when I was just reviewing this PowerPoint, which I hadn't seen in probably a decade or so, I thought, just being a woman, we can probably all identify if we're going on vacation, or if we have a wedding or a big whatever we need to go to. That's always a goal to say, nope, that's it. I'm going to drop 5 pounds or whatever, and I'm going to do this, and I want to fit into that dress. And so we can all relate to that as women for sure. But we're going to talk about action planning and goal setting with your business. So that's what we're going to do today. As we know, it's used by top level athletes, successful business people, celebrities, world leaders, and children as well. Anyone who wants to accomplish something has a much better chance of success if they can visualize a clearly defined goal. So I would say in business, I know when I had my business, and I'm going to keep coming back to that because I grew the business in 6 years. I had already done over $1 million in revenue. So I can speak to this very well about goal setting. And one of it was, you know, how do you get new clients? What are you going to do to make sure that you're constantly bringing new clients in? And I don't know if your goal is, my goal was to reach $1 million in revenue, which I did. And then when I reached it, I thought, now what? Now I need to sustain it. That was the hard part. So, but how I got there was to make sure that every week I was reaching out to at least 5 new referral sources. And that can be difficult, especially if you're in an area. Well, Kitchener's really big, and Guelph you can reach, and especially Barbara, you're online, so you can you can reach out probably anywhere. But with myself, it was people going into other people's homes. So it was all about always having new referral sources, making sure that they knew I was out there, because it was a business that people typically only wanted when a family was in crisis. So I wanted to let them know we were out there before they actually got into crisis. And I'm sure, Jules, you could probably relate to a little bit of that as well. So I don't know if anybody is going after any referral sources. I know COVID really had an impact on many businesses. Does anybody that's online want to share what they do to get referral sources to their business at this point? Oh,
hi, good morning.
Yeah, great. Okay, Barbara, did you want to chime in?
Sure. Was there someone else who wanted to go, or?
Oh,
You go ahead, Barbara. It's Jasmine, but you go ahead, Barbara. I was coming in late, so.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just do it quickly. Then maybe you can go, Jasmine.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, that's been a real challenge for me. I tend to work with, like right now I'm working with Fisheries and Oceans Canada. So big government departments, big projects. And so I like the idea. So I tend to kind of just stay the same way. And I love this quote, what got you here won't get you there. And
right.
So in trying to grow, I kind of just, as soon as I get a few big projects, I kind of just am so busy doing the work, right? And don't provide the time for marketing. So the question you asked, I think, is how do I currently get new clients. I think it's pretty random. It's not very strategic. And I think that is limiting for me.
Okay. Barbara, do you have any staff, or is it just you doing everything?
It's really just me doing everything. I do have subcontractors that I work with as
Okay.
needed. So writers, other writers, graphic designers and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that you know what, and that can be, you know what, as a woman entrepreneur and you're doing everything yourself, plus running a home, and if you have children, if there's child care, or on the other end, elder care, it can be really difficult to find new referral sources. So hopefully today we can figure out a way that maybe we can find a way to get you there. And Jasmine, did you want to say something? Or,
Hi,
Jasmine.
hi, good morning. Sorry, I came in late. Yeah, so, well, thank you for having me here today. And I just wanted to say thank you because this is the first time I've actually joined a group, like especially a women's group, and that really suits my needs in terms of like, help. So I really find that with my business, I'm also running it myself. I have been running my business for 6 years now, and I do believe in my product and I'm very passionate about it. And I find that I ended up paying people to help me market it, because when I started, I knew nothing about the business, running a business. I'm a nurse, and
Oh,
I stumbled upon a product that a nurse would need in their daily work activity in the hospital.
can you
So
share what that is, Jasmine?
sure. So I work in the emergency department. So I started in the ICU, and after 11 years, I switched to emergency. And never have I imagined that I would come up with something. It's a product that I made. It's a tool bag for nurses. So you know how nurses carry our tools in our pockets, our stethoscope around our neck. Doctors can use it too. But so what I decided is I was tired of having to find my tools. So I ended up designing a little pouch that wraps around, that you put around your waist, and you put around as a sling, right? With a safety feature, so that like a safety buckle, if somebody um what do you call that, snatch your bag, that you don't get injured, right? So it has the safety feature and the comfort, of course, and its purpose is to carry all the tools that a nurse would need to look after a patient, so that the nurse would first save time, not to stress of looking for where things are, right? And be more organized, right? So I know there are some stuff out there, but it's not the same. It was not made for nurses. So I was very, very passionate about it because, first of all, when I found it, I was at a point in my career that I no longer enjoyed the environment that I was at. I felt like it was getting a little too toxic and too competitive. So it wasn't helping me anymore as a person. It was actually killing me inside. It was like the stress of being a nurse is already there to begin with. And it was just like, it wasn't enough. Whatever you do, you are never enough. It's never enough, right? And it was getting too much for me. I didn't like being a nurse anymore. But when I found my bag, I saw my purpose. I saw the reason why I became a nurse, right?
Yeah.
So that's what made me very passionate about this product. And when I showed it to my educators, and I mean, I belong to a very big emergency department. It's actually one of the busiest in Canada. So when I showed it to our educators, they were very impressed. And when I even showed it to my manager, she was more impressed. And so she told me she was, aside from being a manager, she was also running a business for 25 years. She told me that she saw in me being an entrepreneur. And that really made me feel like I now have a purpose, right? This is the reason why I became a nurse. This is why I have to struggle. I have to face this because I have to serve my fellow nurses. And it became my thing. It became my call, right? So I spent all my money trying to patent it. My boss told me to patent it. So basically, I ended up getting a lot of orders, and even my own hospital ordered for all their nurses.
Fantastic.
Yes, and I was running it myself. And plus I was working full time. But when I was at work, my mind was no longer there. My mind was always busy thinking about how am I going to improve this product? How am I going to get it out there? And that I paid some people to make it, to market it. But then again, you have other people. It will never be, it will never be liked by everyone, right? And then you have to face that, because when one person or two person says something bad about you or bad about your product, it really tears you apart, especially if it's really close to your heart, right? And then you start questioning yourself and you say, am I doing the right thing here? It's just me. Am I just imagining this or what, right? And that's what I did. So I ended up paying other people to market it, and then I lost money, right? I lost money. And then, so now I'm at the point where I have my own manufacturing company in the Philippines to make my products. Basically, my goal is not just for me. After 7 years, I realized that having this kind of journey, you don't just have a goal for you. You have a goal for people that believed in you, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's something that, we always have to understand in business is people first. Whether it's coworkers or if it's new referral sources, or it's always the people side of things that will build your business. It's the relationships that you're building. I mean, Jasmine, obviously you need a great product. It sounds like you do, but you also have to remember to take care of those people in the Philippines that are manufacturing your product, right?
Right. But my thing is that I'm running it myself to market it. But then I find that it's not enough. I don't know where else to take it, because I have a bigger goal and I don't know where else to take it. And I'm feeling like all the people that I paid to market were just, it was just a waste of money, right? And I don't know where else to begin from here on in. I don't want to leave it. I want to keep going, but it feels like I'm running out of energy. How to, keep going, right?
All of a sudden, you know what? I don't know if anybody can hear me.
We seem to have lost Suzanne. Oh dear.
While we're waiting for her to come, can I just quickly give a shout out to Jasmine?
Oh yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so this is very strange, but I'm a dog trainer as my side hustle. I've been for a very long time, and I was just the other day looking at those types of bags. I came across them because I need something to put my pouch in with the tools designed for like my trade, right? And there's a lot of people when I was like listening to you, I'm like, there's also vet techs, right? Like nurses for veterinary tech, right? And us dog trainers and stuff, right? And I was looking at them, I'm like, I wish this had like maybe this, or I don't need that, but maybe there's one that I like. I don't know if you can make it so you can add a pouch on or take a pouch away,
for sure.
kind of thing. So I would love it if you and I wanted to talk later. So
for sure.
Email there.
Yes, actually, there was a vet nurse that contacted me from England, and she sent me what she wanted, how she wanted done, and I sent her a sample for it. It was just recently, so yes, definitely we will connect.
Well, I am in I don't know if you know, but like the largest veterinary hospital in Canada is very close. It's Guelph. Where is
wow. Okay.
Right? And
we're not far.
I go
I'm
there.
in Acton.
Okay, yeah, because like I go there, I have clients who go there. We all have dogs, obviously, which ties us together. But there's so many different places, like you could get it into the bookstore, you know, there's
Right,
places
right.
where they're training people to do those types of jobs. And I would love that because they have ones that are not enough or too much, you know, like
Too much. Yes.
that kind of
That's,
thing. So
yes. So it has to be done in a way that how like based on your need, right? How
yeah,
you want it. Yes,
so
for
we should
sure. I think,
connect later.
yes, yes, thank you.
So yeah, perfect. So yeah, all of a sudden, a half an hour's blown by of this workshop, and I don't even think we haven't even really got started. So that's my, you know, I just like connecting people with people, and then we get chatting, and the next thing you know, time blows by. So
Don't worry, we have the room till 1 o'clock. We're good.
oh, okay. But I think if yeah, if everyone's comfortable and you want to connect after, send your email address, phone number, whatever. And that's what Pero is all about, is connecting women right through Ontario. And I don't, Jasmine, just one more thing. I don't know if you've actually been on the Pero website and signed. Kylie, help me out here. You sign on the homepage, you go in and sign. I'll take it over. You can take over from there and just tell them how to do that.
So I just put into chat our main website. So if you go on to pero.ca, in the top right corner, there is a My Pero Path login button. If you're not already a Pero member, you can log in there. You send in all your information and we hook you up with BGA, our business growth advisor, like Suzanne, and they can help connect you with more women, build bigger connections. If you're already a member though, you log in there and you can check out all the like the business camps we have, check out when we have webinars and things like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I'm already a member. So yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to definitely check it. Yeah,
Good.
sure. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I think we can go to our next slide, Kylie. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So and I'm sure that everybody has this anyway. So you're going to need a notebook. I don't know if I can't believe how many bits of pieces of paper I have stuffed in places if I've had an idea. Some of my greatest ideas are on restaurant napkins, paper napkins, or paper towel. One of our municipal councillors here in Thunder Bay laughed at me once because I had to give a speech on behalf of somebody else. I had it written out on a piece of paper towel. Anyway, so yeah, a notebook. You always want something to jot down, or you know, in your phone, wherever. An action plan sheet to identify which goal and the action steps need to get there, and the timeline, that's really important. And your calendar date book, your action steps, keeps you on track and you organize your days. But obviously it sounds like, you know, everybody that's online here, other than Jules, has been in business for a few years. So obviously you've gotten this far, you've been organized and you've kept on track. So we'll go on to the next slide. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now, what we also have is, I think is the next slide the smart slide, Kylie, I think.
No, that's, I believe,
Oh,
2
okay.
slides.
All right. So with your goals, you're going to want to be really specific. You're going to want to be precise with your dates, your times, your measurables. Is it measurables? I mean, can you track your progress? Write your goals down, put them up if that helps. We've all heard that, you know, or you look in the mirror and say, look at me, aren't I cute today? Or, you know, you can stick that on the mirror, your goals that you want to achieve. So you're looking at it all the time. There's also, oh my goodness, it just left me. What? A vision board. I don't know if anybody's ever done a vision board. They're so fun to do. I've done, yeah, I have too. And I've done them lots with other business women. So if you want to get a bunch of women together, even one evening, and you just start, you have a pile of magazines, you start cutting out things that come to you, things that look like they're important to you, things that resonate with you, cut them out, stick them on your vision board. And yeah, you'd kind of be surprised if you looked at it again in 6 months, if you're looking at that vision board all the time, what that might look like in your life. So start small and build on success. And that last bullet point is really for Jasmine, I guess, at this point. And where's Shannon from?
Hi, sorry.
Yeah, Shannon, where are you from?
I'm from London.
Oh, from London, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put our goals down in writing. You want to plan them out. You're going to write down your goals from A to Z. Be specific. Break down your plan into baby steps and attach a realistic deadline to each step. So let's go back to building your business. Let's go back to referral sources. Let's start at the beginning. Think of all the people in your business, the people that could help you. For instance, let's go to, I'm gonna speak to Jasmine about this, just because I would know her industry, being a social worker. Jasmine, you may want to connect with long-term care facilities. You may want to connect with private home care businesses, because they're the ones that have loved ones maybe in an institution, and you could be their advocate, you could be their voice. And I'm sure, Jasmine, you're also familiar with the role that social workers play in a hospital setting. So
Yes.
You could have lots of referral sources, Jasmine. I think it's just a matter of really thinking. Now, when I built my business, one of the biggest referral sources for me was personal injury lawyers, and that could be another one for you, Jasmine.
Right.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. So start listing down all your referral sources, who you want to reach out to. I would say maybe one a day, Monday through Friday. Don't get ridiculous and say, I'm going to contact 30 new people this week, because you know what, if you're running solo, you know it's not going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then you kind of lose interest. So
Right.
yeah. Next slide.
Yeah. Thank you.
Get smart. And in our house, we always have this saying, you're so SMART. So what we're going to do then is, this is a really common tool to use for goal setting: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And we have a document that I found this morning that I guess you could pull up now, Kylie, and then we could go through it. And this will just show you how easy it is to, it's not easy, but it's a good guideline on how to do your goals. So
One sec, I gotta stop the share in order to
yeah, sure, no
pull it up
problem.
for you all to see. I did put it in the chat too for everybody to download.
Okay. And you know, these smart tools, you can find them anywhere online. So I just happened to find this one, but I just wanted to give you an idea. If you're not feeling familiar with the SMART goal map, this is a really good tool to use. And you could just, you could see this one actually has at the top, it has the date and it has that, I think it was for a class anyhow. But you can use this in business. So make it specific. What do you want to accomplish? It could be something as small as I want to hire a communications person. Okay, so let's start with that. What do you want to accomplish? I want to hire someone like Kylie Monteith, the communications expert. Okay, how will you know when you've accomplished your goal? Okay, when we have done the work around that. So what does that look like if you're looking to hire someone? You have to get really specific on who you're looking for. What are, of course, the wage? Do you have enough money to do that? What will you offer? Where will they work from? Will they work beside you? How many hours a week? You have to list all that. So when will you know when you've accomplished that goal? When you've listed all those details. So you see, breaking down goals is really important. How can the goal be accomplished? By interviewing a number of people, by getting that really good intuition that we have as women, you know, when it will be a right fit. Is this goal worth working hard? Is this goal worth working hard to accomplish? Absolutely. Explain. Well, it's going to make my life easier having help. She's going to pick up all the pieces that I can't get to. She'll be able to be the expert. And because you know what, and we've all heard in life that we can't be good at everything. We just can't be. So sometimes you need to reach out for help. You need to go to the experts that can help you. And by when will the goal be accomplished? So make it timely. When will it be accomplished? Am I looking at 2 months down the road, 6 months down the road? Yeah. So any questions around this SMART goal sheet? Any questions or comments? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Excuse me. I guess we could go back to the PowerPoint. Excuse me, I have a so we just these next few slides will go fairly quick because I showed you how to lay them out with your SMART tool sheet. For each task, prepare a list of to-dos ranked in sequential order. And even though it's your goal and you want to achieve it, you may have to bring other people in to brainstorm. How are we going to get there? Next slide, Kylie. Thanks. So take a look at all the bullet points here, and they're all on that sheet I shared with you. Prioritize. Some steps are more important. And sometimes, you know what, sometimes I find that if I start at the end goal and work backwards, that's how I like to work. That works well for me. I don't know about anyone else, but there's a lot of steps to achieving a goal, especially in business. So if your goal is to hire employees, if your goal is to have more of a family balance, and you know, everybody talks about this work-life balance. I don't know. I'm personally at this stage of my life, I'm convinced that there's no such thing, but that's just my viewpoint. But it's important that you don't get so absorbed into your business that you forget about those that are important in your life. Is it to achieve more revenue? So it's what do you actually want to achieve in your business? Write down how you measure, track your results. That's really important to know. And you know what, if you're tracking your results after a few months, you'll be able to see some patterns. So Barbara's just saying this worksheet is great, but it's too small. Well, you know what, Barbara, I would recommend just go on and Google a SMART worksheet, and there will be probably 1,000 that will pop up, and you'll find one that will work for you. But it's all the steps of being specific, measurable, attainable, timely, and what's the R stand for? I can't remember already. Realistic. So list the specific details of what you will do. We've already discussed that. The steps you need to take to get from there to here. Remember, what got you here won't get you there. And each action step is a mini goal of its own, which it is. I think we just saw that one, so, excuse me. Perfect. So as we know, you always have to be flexible in business, especially as a woman entrepreneur. Action plans help you to think in terms of actions required on your part to succeed. You really have to think about this instead of just wishing things were different. Learn to evaluate your desires for practicality, and you have to somehow overcome your obstacles by breaking them down. So I don't know if everyone that's online here, if you have a business mentor, or if you're part of a women's networking group, I would highly recommend that if you're not, to look around. Pero has what we call peer lending circles, and it's a group of 4 to 7 women that get together, and they share best business practices, those that are having challenges and struggles. I know myself, I've been a part of a circle for probably, I want to say 8 years. And these women have become my lifeline many times. We certainly support each other in business, always there to give really concrete criticism if needed, and all of us are each other's best cheerleaders. So I think it's really important. Oh, there's Kylie, she's posting something about peer lending circles there. So that's one way to look at it. Another is, I don't know if you have become a member of your Chamber of Commerce in your area, or a board of trade. Does anybody out there have a membership to a women's organization that they want to share that has been most helpful? Anyone? Well, it sounds like, ladies, we need to get some networking going. Because I can tell you from experience, that will be when you have other women you can reach out to. Because, you know, let's face it, nobody understands what you're going through as an entrepreneur unless they're going through it themselves. People just don't understand, even family members. I grew up in a house of union workers, very union minded, and I ended up being an entrepreneur. So you can imagine the heated discussions that we've had over the years. But like I said, the other women in this networking group, or my circle that I've had, have been a lifeline many times. So I would highly recommend looking into getting a networking group. Even the women that are on here today, you're all in the same area. Get together, and you kind of all share the same kind of business. You're all out trying to help people. Oh, did you want to say something, Jasmine?
Yeah, just quickly.
Yes.
When I started, I did network with my fellow nurses. So I joined conferences with the Ontario Nurses Association. But I'm just, you know, I'm nobody, right? So a lot of them, when you reach out to these people, and especially to a big organization, because my target are nurses, right? So I have been, I must say though, I have been fortunate that I belong to that organization, because they have helped me kind of introduce my business. So the Ontario Nurses is a huge organization, and every single year since I have started, I have a few locals that have ordered my bags. But I just wanted every time, like every year, I would reach out to all of the organizations into Canada. But it's very hard to get an answer, or to even get a response that they got your message. You know, that's it. You know.
Okay, maybe it's yeah. Yeah, listen, business isn't easy, because listen, if it was easy, everybody be doing it, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think, but I think if you're working with other women entrepreneurs, then they could certainly be more supportive.
Right.
Yeah, and
People that are doing the same thing.
exactly, yeah. Well,
Right.
they're not in the same business as you, but they're going through all the challenges and problems and celebrations that you are. Don't
Right.
forget to celebrate small wins, ladies. That's really important as well.
Mhm.
Like I said, no one else understands what you're doing day to day, and you know, and especially if you have employees, it's nobody understands that sometimes. Oh, okay, Barbara. Go tend to your dog. I have a dog that barks too. We call him Bob Barker. Bye, Barbara. So like I said, no one understands what it means to, you know, sometimes you lay awake at night and think, how am I going to pay that bill? Or I hope I can make payroll next week, or that kind of thing. It's it's like I said, it's not easy. If it was, everyone would be doing it. So next slide, Kylie. And there we are. I think we're pretty much wrapped up at that point. So Pero is if you want to start your business and there grow, or to build new networks. But I think it sounds like Jules and Shannon and Jasmine, networking is it sounds like networking may be a big piece that you're missing in your businesses. I don't know about Shannon, if there's what the networking piece is like in Morocco.
Yeah, actually, networking is something that it's a big part of what I'm doing. Because I'll just turn my camera on so everybody can
Thank you.
see me while I talk. So in my business, what I'm doing is I'm trying to connect teachers with job opportunities. When I started teaching freelance here in Morocco, I realized that there was a lot of discrimination. There were a lot of opportunities that were available to me that weren't available to local teachers and teachers around the world. So what I'm trying to do in my business is bring those opportunities to teachers through freelance work, through giving them opportunities to use tools like course builders and resources and video and all of this stuff, because a lot of teachers just don't have access. So I'm in the middle of building a platform to give teachers those resources, and to make this platform, I've had to focus on networking with teachers all over the world. So I spend a lot of time on social media, talking to people in my industry, trying to get the word out as much as possible. But right now, where I'm at in my business is I can't do this on my own anymore. So I'm looking to network with people in the same field, or with the similar sort of goals, to try and build up what I have and make it better.
Good. Yeah, and it is, you know what, and business is, when it comes down to it, it's all about relationship building. That's really what it's about. You think, yeah, it's I mean, it goes a long way, that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And in many cases in business, sometimes that's it. Sometimes you'll just, if you get somebody that loves your product, whatever that looks like, I guess the new term is now you need a, do I sound like an old lady? You need somebody that really believes in your product, and that will be your cheerleader.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Suzanne. Now we're gonna open the floor for any other last minute questions, if anybody has any.
Yeah. And you know, I've been an entrepreneur for over 40 years. So if you have any questions, just shoot.
I will be honest with
here.
you. I'm a little worried about networking because so it's only me in my company, but kind of like Shannon, like I want to, I know there are like-minded practitioners like me and that want to work together, and they're having difficulty, kind of like Jasmine was talking about with burnout and with negativity and things like that, right? However, I'm not at that stage yet, and I'm actually kind of, I want to market and network, but I'm afraid of doing it so much that I'm too busy because I'm not interested in that either. I'm not interested in all of a sudden my calendar, because like I put a calendar up, right? And I'm like, if this thing actually does fill up, like that will not make like it's hard because I'm a service-based industry too, right? So I'm like, what if it blows? Like, what if I have so many people that want me to help them and I just don't have the support and the space yet? You know, so I'm actually kind of worried about
And
doing
that's,
that.
and I have to tell you, Jules, that's a really common problem. People are, you know what? People are afraid of failure. I think a lot of people are more afraid of success, whatever
Well, what do
that.
I do with it? You know, and if someone wants me to help them and I can't because I don't have time, you know, I'll just be like, oh my gosh, what am I
But I
supposed
have
to do?
but I have to tell you, Jules, what a nice problem to have. And then you simply just say, you know what? I'm booked solid right now. I have a waiting list.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And when you
Well,
have,
that's another thing that I have to think about. That's another, I need a waiting list now. Oh my gosh. And who manages that? Is it me?
when your
You know,
husband,
so yeah. And I mean, the one thing I am noticing though is, and I'm hoping this changes because of COVID, because there is a lot of people struggling with mental health, but there's so many people struggling, but not a lot of financial resources to, so like people are asking for help and only a certain percentage of people can pay fees. And I'm not even a most expensive person because I'm just starting out, right? And so I've got off on the side tangent of like, how can I become part charity, or how can I access grants, or how can I do something like this to help people who don't have the funds, but it's still a very necessary thing post COVID and things like that. So I find that like starting a business is a million side quests, that you have a goal and then all of a sudden you have a side goal.
yeah,
that starts off over there.
Yeah. And that's a typical entrepreneur thing. It's like, oh, there's the next shiny thing. Oh. So it's
Yep.
keeping focused. And if you really want to hit that goal, you have to be laser focused on what you need to do, because it's just the way the world is now. It's just, you know, one distraction after another.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But I can't reiterate enough how it's the relationship building that will bring in your contracts, that will be your best referral source. And so whoever that looks like in your industry, go ahead, Jasmine.
Sorry, I wanted to ask Jules, do you have I think you might have to do a blog or a vlog something
Oh
like
my
it's
gosh.
very,
Yes.
common. It's
Like
something that
I just got like I didn't know this. It was funny. It's funny how you learn this. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm fighting with Facebook about like my problem yesterday, right? And like the thing with scheduling and all this stuff, right? And a friend of mine from like grade 7 who was like my best friend in grade 7, then we went to different high schools, right? She's like, did you know that I have a community, like she lives in Sarnia, and she's like, I work like with a communications company. I work mostly like not for profit and charities and blah blah blah, and like people like me. And she worked in the social service industry, social service ministry as well, just in her area. And I'm like, what? And so we did connect, and she's going to help me out with that portion of things. But it's just, and she was like, you know what, it's hard to market for something like this, but she says the main way you get it is from doing content. So that is, maybe I'm thinking of doing something like about self-care, but like people are always like, hey, self-care, but they don't literally tell you like what are you actually doing. They're like, go do self-care. So I'm thinking of doing videos on literally what I do for self-care. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I do find all this time people are like, oh, you got to be mindful. They're like, go meditate. And it's like, well, that's a really difficult process for a lot of people. You go, how do we break that down? It took me years to even be able to quiet my mind for 20 seconds. So like, so yeah, that is what I'm going to have to be doing. But I'm also like, then you get stuck in the whole like achievable, right? Like influencers on social media seem to have like perfect lighting, perfect hair, perfect they apparently, I heard this, they rent people's mansions so people think they have a mansion.
oh,
You know what I mean? And
really?
all this stuff. And I'm just like, I go to make a video and then I'm like, wait, I don't have any of that stuff. And then so that's why I wanted to attend this one, because this one about goals and how to set and achieve goals, because I find I do. And then I get right to the point of like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, wait, I don't have all of these things that I think I'm supposed to have. Right. And then I go, so yeah, I need to know how to organize that better, and and then my communications person was like, you have to start somewhere. So you expecting yourself to have perfect lighting, perfect hair, perfect video, your first video is kind of silly, and I was just
Exactly.
like, I guess it is, like it's weird. I have so much higher expectations for myself than anybody else does.
Yeah, we're our own worst critic. Like I said, I know what you mean about the perfect lighting and everything. You can't tell, but I have this background on to hide my frizzy hair. So I have this.
Yeah.
I got a green screen behind me, so I don't fade in and out as much.
Oh
But
my
like it
gosh.
takes forever to learn how to do that. And it's like I said, you start somewhere. You start sitting in your little dark room and going, okay, well, I can change this one thing for the next one, or I can change these couple things for the next one. See how it goes.
Yeah, so my focus right now is actually on like conflict resolution, teens, family mediation type area, and teen wellness. So I'm going to pay my children in candy and snacks and get them to help me make my first video this weekend and see how that goes.
So Jules, I'm as you're talking about that, about conflict resolution and that kind of thing. So maybe your target market or your clients are more at a corporate level. Maybe it's
I'm not, I gotta tell you, yeah.
But maybe
I would love to do with seniors as well, but I'm not gonna help the man do any, like I'm kind of disenfranchised with, I'd rather make a lot of money from a whole bunch of little sources than go to a corporation at this point. I'm kind of upset with their red tape and their bureaucracy. So
well, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to like a Bell Canada or that kind of thing. It could be a business that maybe has 10 employees in your area that need conflict resolution. It could be something as simple as that.
yeah.
Are you comfortable doing any public speaking, Jules?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you'd be a hoot. I really
I
do.
am. I'm pretty funny. And I know, but I also see that's true though. I also get myself in trouble. So I feel like I need a handler. So if you know anyone who wants to be a handler, I need I need a handler. I can make us money. I need a handler. So, but yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to do a SMART goal, because we actually used to do that when I was in corrections with offenders, by the way.
Yeah.
SMART goals. It's in correctional centers. But I hadn't done it in a long time, but I'm gonna do one for networking and try to find clients, and then 2 on how to get like, because like I said, you have to do it passive marketing, which is making videos and hashtagging and that kind of thing. So I'll make a SMART goal for my first video. What is gonna be my first video?
Sorry, another thing too now that's really you just mentioned earlier that you don't use Facebook, right? You don't use
No,
Facebook.
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
I'm fighting with it.
Because-
I'm fighting with Facebook and Google.
So I
now.
have been fighting with TikTok and Instagram for a long time, and the product should have been there like 100 years ago, because I started 7 years ago with my business. Imagine that. And the scariest thing is for me is because my business, like the product that I built, really gave me it basically changed my whole outlook of my career, right? Like it used to be like being a nurse. I'll just die as a nurse. I'm born to be a nurse. I'm gonna die as a nurse, looking after patients. But it isn't like that. We have so many avenues, and I didn't realize that until I found my product. And that's why my product is so close to my heart. And the scariest thing about how I look at this business of mine is that I even went through problem with my husband with it, that I want him to do the same thing. I want him to look at it the same way as I look at it, right? But it's not his, it's mine, right? He supports me with it 100%, but he doesn't look at it the way I look at it. And it was causing conflict with my husband and I, because I want him to look at it the same way. Like I've grown so much from being a nurse, and then plus on top of that being a businesswoman, because there's other things that I look that I never even imagined I would need to look up, right? Until I put my foot in there and made myself, open up a business name, right? So the reason I mentioned about that is because I made a video. I also want to do videos and vlogs and all that. I see myself doing that, but again, I'm like you. I think everybody's like that. We want a perfect background, perfect light, perfect, everything's done up, but I think we have to start somewhere. So anyway, make long story short, I have this video that I put on my little bag, and I also made my staff, I have my staff make this scrub for me, like nursing scrub that will suit, will match the bag, right? So that when you wear the bag, it's not like you're like, it's, you're being tied up in between your body, right? So it looks professional, right? So I received the scrubs and I put it on, and I was making a video out of it. And look, guys, this is, and then I was, putting it on the video and on reel, right? And for some reason, I wasn't paying too much attention of it. I used a hashtag because the scrub had a codicious, it's a medical symbol for medical professional, especially in the US, right? So I had that in my scrub. And so I hashtag codicious on my reel. And without knowing it, in less than a week, it had like 3,500 views to it, right? And I didn't even pay for any of that, like, views, right? So that's how powerful this, like, reels or whatever TikTok marketing tool is now. And I have people from the US following me and messaging me and saying, okay, I really like that idea, but how's that different with all the other funny packs out there? So that alone, that message alone is telling me that, oh, my video is working, right? So I think, Jules, what I'm saying here is that you just got to do it. Just do it.
Just do it,
Just
Jules.
do it. Because my video wasn't even interesting at all. And so now that from that video, I made so many videos before, right? And it didn't really do that. And this video, it wasn't even interesting at all. And then it said something, right? So that's all I wanted to share. Like, just do it.
And maybe Shannon, you could do videos too. Are you comfortable? I wouldn't be comfortable doing them personally, but
I've done tons of videos.
oh, have you? Good.
Yeah, I regularly post on Instagram Reels and on Facebook. One of my first videos 3 years ago when I started, and I was kind of making an introduction to what I was doing. That first video got like 25,000 views, which was super intimidating. But
Like, who's watching me?
right? Who
Yeah.
is looking at me talking about teaching? But yeah, I regularly post mostly videos. Any other content that I post doesn't get as much attention. And mostly it's just, you know, you have to know how the algorithms work. And, you know, when you start posting videos, it's going to go really well, and then it's going to drop off. And, you know, you've got to find another way to attract people. Social media is a finicky thing, but it's definitely necessary, I think, for any business to have some kind of a social presence and to find out where your customers are, and then just like go hang out on that platform. So
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody knows about your target market. Has Shannon, Jasmine, Jules, have any of you done an official business plan?
I've done basic, like really basic business plans. Nothing really like official.
Okay.
Mostly I've done some plans just to sort of help me kind of flesh out what actually the business is, and to get some like some goals and some, you know, traction a little bit. But yeah.
Well, and I also want to mention that on November the 24th, Pero is having our big conference. Will be the first time we're going to be in person in 3 years. However, there's going to be a big Zoom component, and we'd love to see you all there. We're going to have Jen of Cheekbone Beauty. I don't know if anyone's familiar with her. She is an Indigenous woman that actually went on Dragon's Den, and she didn't get it. She didn't make the deal. She actually turned down a deal on Dragon's Den. But she is, especially Jules, I think, you know, the whole social piece and justice and so on. I think her being an Indigenous woman and making sure that the money is going to causes that are really near and dear to her heart. You just may want to look out for our big event that's coming in and zoom in that day. Or if you're in Thunder Bay, if you're passing through.
I may or may not be able to tell you guys that info may or may not be dropping next week, but you didn't hear it from me.
Okay, there we are. We may or may not know that, but
Yeah, you heard nothing. I said nothing.
and the event,
I did drive into for the circles thing yesterday. I drove into Etobicoke. And when I did that, so I'm in the Tri-Cities, which is like Kitchener, you know, and it's supposed to be mini Toronto.
yeah.
And when I was driving to Etobicoke, and I spent the time analyzing my life, and nothing actually sounds more fun than moving to Thunder Bay right now. Because the congestion and it's like, how do you get all your things done if you're competing for space and time all the time with people? So if you can, maybe unless your winters are horrific, then you might see me show up there.
How do you feel about -40?
Yeah.
Well, I lived in Saskatchewan for 10 years. And if it's like, I can do milder than that, but I can't do that mild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I mean, I can do like -20, but -40 is a little intense for me.
It's intense. However, it's dry. It's not humid like you get in southern Ontario, southwestern Ontario. And we get a lot of sun here in the winter. So it's,
Oh God, yeah.
you know, it's beautiful white, and the snow stays white because we don't have pollution. So that's another plus.
We literally get the big dump of snow and then it's sunny all winter. Just stay
Yeah.
out of the wind, you're fine.
Yeah, and it's
That
that, you know,
sounds
you go outside, it's squeak, 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 squeak.
And I could
Honestly,
afford a house there
you know what, you could still
sometime
buy
in my
a,
lifetime.
you could buy, you can still buy a home here for a beautiful family home for $300,000.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
it, guys. We're all moving to Thunder Bay.
Yeah. Shannon,
Well-
come from Morocco. We're all going to Thunder Bay.
Yeah. You just
I
let me
haven't
know.
seen winter in 7 years,
Oh, nice.
so snow is not my favorite thing.
Yeah, this is it, right? You have to
Yeah.
enjoy it. But you know, I personally grew up in Toronto, and first of all, I could never afford to move back. There's no way we could afford a house there now. And I go to visit family, and 4 days, it's like, get me the hell out of here. I can't, it's just
The traffic. Oh my
the
gosh.
traffic. Just even going to get cash from a bank machine. It's like, are you kidding me? Why is there a lineup? Everywhere you go, there's a lineup. I can't handle it. We're so spoiled here. So spoiled.
I like to visit, eat the delicious food at their many delicious restaurants and do the fun things and then go home somewhere
There you go.
else. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Where in the Philippines is your plant, Jasmine?
It's in Manila. So
Oh, big
yeah,
city.
so it's really I took a lot of, I'm a risk taker anyway to begin with. Like I took a lot of risk to actually open it last year in the middle of the pandemic, because it was just time that I decided, you know, I resigned from the hospital,
Wow.
and it was I was no longer there. My mind, my heart was no longer there. I just wanted to grow my business. And the fact that my nurse manager, when she saw my bag, she told me to go to Dragon's Den. And at that time it was called, she wasn't it was called Dragon's Den, something else.
Shark Tank? Shark
What is
Tank?
it? Yes, you need to go to Shark Tank, or, and then I didn't know what it was, and then I looked it up, and then she said, you have to, this is a really good idea. And it gave me goosebumps, and it gave me kind of a new meaning, right? About like new hope, right? Especially, you know, being a nurse, I find there's a lot, it's very, very difficult environment, and not the work. It's not the work, it's the people around you, and the fact that you're dealing with people that are sick, right? You have to be very, very strong. And I find that after so many years, I kind of experienced bullying as well when I started. So it wasn't a good start for me to begin with. So I was really done with it. And so when I found my bag, I said, you know what, it's time for me to move forward. And so the very first 3 years, I have all the unions of each provinces ordered bags for their nurses for Nursing Week. So it even went to Yukon territories, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, right?
Jasmine, I just need to interrupt you for one moment. We can stay online if you like,
Yes.
ladies, and I can, you know, I think it's really good networking and so on. But Kylie's got to leave us, and the room is open until 1. Kylie, if you
Yeah,
ladies-
so I'm just going to
Okay.
quickly do my closing thing for it. So
Okay.
thank you everybody so much for coming today to our wonderful webinar by the lovely Suzanne. If you would like to rewatch the webinar at any point, or if there's a previous webinar you missed and you want the recording of that, feel free to send me an email at communications@pero.ca. That is in our chat. And again, thank you everybody so much for coming.
Thanks, Kylie. Thanks for your help.